This week's news from the tubes and F5 Live is proudly powered by Malwarebytes. Whether you use a PC, a Mac, or a mobile device, Malwarebytes Premium is the company's strongest protection ever. It fights threats that traditional antivirus software can't stop, plus standard things like worms, rogues, dialers, and a whole lot more. Use your computer and mobile devices with confidence and peace of mind. To learn more and get a special price, you can go to f5live.tv/malwarebytes. Another non-Google story when it comes to the web. The Brave Search, which is a competitor to Google and Bing, we talked about, 6 months ago maybe, that they were doing some interesting new stuff. This week, Brave Search is officially out of beta, bringing their privacy-focused search engine I'd say to the masses. It's been available, but when things are in beta, you can't necessarily rely on it because things are in flux, things are changing, things could be broken. But by saying that they're confident with it, that's a good sign for the future. The company announced some interesting milestones. Now, if you're comparing this to Google or Bing, these numbers won't be terribly exciting, but if you compare them to much of the rest of the industry, they certainly are. A total of 2.5 billion queries, even in beta, which is pretty impressive, and a peak of 14.1 million searches in a single day. Those are big numbers for a second level beta search engine. Those numbers are part of why they felt it was time to come out of beta. But of course, they're also confident with the search results, and so confident that they are actually giving you control over the results. You can go in and customize a number of factors on your search results to weed out certain types of things, especially if you're doing niche type searches. For me, the word construct might be very different than a sociology student, right? They're incredibly different meanings. I can actually focus down to certain types of results, which I think is pretty cool. And again, it's all privacy focused, which we know there has been concern as Google keeps changing their plans on what the future of search tracking is. There's been a lot of concerns over that. So here you have a company focused on privacy. It's interesting. Yeah. Have you given it a shot?
So, yes. So I'm curious about something. How is it you're supposed to change the criteria for relevancy? Because I'm been on their site and I don't see any way to do that.
All right. So
I just see you can narrow the time, which Google also allows.
Let me find this real quick. I had a link to the instructions, and I'm planning on putting together a how-to on this in the next day or two, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember exactly how it works. Which isn't great, right? It's not great that it's not straight up front. Let's see. Here we go. We're going to do this live again. So you do your search, show more, units of measure, appearance. This isn't it. Nope. Okay. I have the instructions open in the other room. I wish I had them in here right now because it's been a couple of days since I was messing with this. I wonder if I have to be. I might have to be in the other browser. Anyway, I'm gonna put together a how-to on this because you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
It's not easy to do, but what it's not easy to remember where it is. I guess is
right.
the
Right.
reality
So
of it.
that would be an issue because if it's some kind if it's a key feature, it should be discoverable. But I mean, you know, I think certainly there's an appetite. There might be an appetite for this kind of thing. I mean, people certainly are worried about their privacy, although I think it needs to be proven to them that this is good for privacy. So I don't know. Uh, you know, it seems like this, in order to be really trustworthy, it would have to be open in some way. It'd have to be an open, you know, open, maybe not run by a business search engine. But I don't know.
Interestingly, I believe this is open source. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong, but I think it is.
Hmm,
Obviously, I'm gonna have to.
interesting.
Obviously, I'm gonna have to do some research on that to be sure. But I believe the search is at least based on the open source DuckDuckGo search. So at least a good portion of it is open source.
Right, but it's still run by a company that is in business to make a profit. I don't
That's
know.
true.
I mean, I don't know that that necessarily taints it, but I mean, if you're trying to present yourself, it's like, hey, look, we're the anti Google. Um, then I kind of would expect, I don't know, some type of organization that was a little bit more above the fray
Hmm.
of business to be the one presenting it. I mean, I don't I don't know. I don't like the look of it as much as it's Google, and of course, I'm irritated because I see that this article that I've been trying to really pump up of mine in search is actually ranked much lower on this than it is in Google. So don't use Brave because resistor color code, which we're working so hard to get up in the top three. We are number like 9 or something on Brave, but number 6 on Google. So um,
That's funny.
the gaming PC under $500 and see if I
Uh,
come how I come up
One,
there.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Resistor color code. Searching just for resistor color code, you come up number 6 on Brave for me.
Oh, okay. And maybe it's because I put resistor. That's funny. I'm coming up as well. You know what? I'm coming up as I guess 7, but that's only if you skip the videos and the discussions and the people also ask. But that's still 7, right? Or 8. Anyway, who knows? I'll put in a pitch for that. I mean, that's an interesting pitch point, but we've worked less. Les Pounder, our associate editor, worked his butt off to create the ultimate guide to decoding your resistors. So
that's that's really funny. I've got somewhere around here, possibly here even in the studio. I've got the old Radio Shack wheel where you could turn it and it would tell you the color code for whatever you were trying to
right.
do. It's around here somewhere.
So a friend of mine at work asked why they don't just put the print numbers on them, and I really don't have an answer for that. Um, but
In fairness, all of ours had both.
uh,
By the
a lot.
time the end of Radio Shack happened, at least for me, the resistors, at least the ones that were modern, the resistors had both the color code and the number on them.
Not any that I have bought, and I have bought them all since the fall of Radio Shack, I think. So, um, so anyway, but
Maybe whoever our
yeah,
supplier was needs to step up the marketing on that.
yeah. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, it's not like it's not like there's selling them internationally. People wouldn't understand numbers, so
Hmm.
I don't know what it is. But anyway, yeah, this Brave thing looks fine. I mean, good for them for trying to make a dent.
Hmm.
Um,
And we talk about this particularly during events like say Collision, right? Where we like to say that there are some products that are products and some that are mad science experiments. The mad science experiments may never make a branded dent in their marketplace, but they might push some of the big players in their space to do some stuff. And in the end, if that's what this does, then it's at least accomplished its job. So it might just simply be something as basic as Microsoft or Google sees some of the things that people like about this and tries to head in that direction. Who knows? But competition and new ideas are never a bad thing, even if the end result isn't necessarily successful.
yep.
Hello, YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of F5 Live Refreshing Technology. If you did, please subscribe to the channel down below, and of course, hit the notification bell because we know that subscriptions don't mean much on YouTube anymore. If you've got topics that you'd like us to talk about in the future, please comment them down below. And if you'd like to not follow us on YouTube, there's lots of ways that you can follow along with our content by going to plughitslive.com/subscribe. There you'll see all of our shows and all of the ways that you can watch, listen, and follow along.